Ken Blackwell is a domestic policy advisor for the Trump transition. He joins me now from Washington. Ken, thanks for being with us.
It's so good to be with you.
So first of all, Ken, why would someone like Scott Pruitt, who has sued the EPA more than a dozen times, be a good choice to lead the agency?
Because I think Scott starts from the assumption that all reasonable people want clean air and clean water. The question has been that has the EPA overplayed its hand and through a mountain of regulations stifle business development and job creation when there have been every bit of evidence that one would want to suggest that you can do it in a less burdensome way. So you question a whole lot of things in those suits that Scott participated in. He wanted to make sure that our notion of federalism was the original notion of federalism was not trampled upon. And so those folks who believe that states have a right and a responsibility in finding solutions to clean water, clean air, and at the same time not really attack business development or a proper use of fossil fuels. This administration has had a war on coal, and that has impacted real people in real communities in real time.
Let me ask you this. Mr. Pruitt would not answer whether he would recuse himself from the ongoing cases he brought against the EPA. He said he'd do so if directed, but couldn't he just choose to avoid the involvement?
Well, I think that's between Scott Pruitt, his lawyers, and what is the right thing to do. There is a different philosophy. Elections have consequences. I can just tell you that one of the things that concern us is that we do not have business development in our country. That means that we, in fact, have not had the sort of job creation that we need. The labor participation rate has dropped in the last 8 years. The family income, real family income, household income has dropped in the last 8 years. As a consequence, anybody who wants to put Americans back to work and families to have lifting incomes has to figure out how do we get capital investment and job creation ramped up again in a very accelerated rate. And I think that states and the federal government and the EPA acting responsibly can contribute to safe water, safe air or environment, and job creation in a responsible way.
All right, we only have about a minute left here, but you heard in the last part of the clip that we played, Massachusetts Senator Ed Markey asking Mr. Pruitt if President-elect Trump was wrong because Mr. Pruitt said climate change was not a hoax and Mr. Trump has said it was in the past. What did you make of Mr. Pruitt's comment?
I think he is a very bright guy who understands that, one, there has been an overreach and that a lot of the questions that have been passed off as,